Hi, this is Antoine Williams for LionsPassion.com, and in this video we're looking at the Lions loss to the Green Bay Packers, 34-27. True indeed, they allowed 4 first half touchdowns, and that goes on the defense. But one thing that has to be pointed out was the lack of offensive holds that was called against the Packers. Oh my God, it was in some cases just blatantly obvious, and in others, when the Lions had their chance, even though only one was called against the Packers that I can remember, where they had a defensive line, someone get called for a holding call. It really didn't affect the game how it could have if the referees had been a little bit more attentive. And it's just, it pisses you off as a Lions fan very much. But let's look at the game. The only bright spot for us looking at it was Marvin Jones, 6 receptions, 205 yards, 2 TDs. That was the main positive that we could take out of it. Whether people want to say the fact that they didn't score a TD, well, Green Bay didn't score a TD in the second half, they can look at that and say that was a positive. They pretty much just scored field goals, if I'm not mistaken, 2 of them. No, actually just 1 field goal. So they scored enough in the first half to win the game and just kind of put the game beyond the field goal reach with an extra field goal in the third quarter. Another positive was Eric Ebron at the tight end position. He's looking more and more effective as a tight end. It's encouraging. Hopefully it plays huge dividends down the line for the Lions. But they can't get off to, bad starts. And man, it seems as if, just going back on one particular play of the kickoff play, and the ball goes into the end zone, come back into the player field, and one of Green Bay's return men runs out of bounds from within the end zone, and while still out of bounds, downs the ball. Why does it seem like nearly every team that the Lions play against studies the rule book so attentively, and for some reason or another, the Lions just don't make those type of plays? Another type of play I wish they would have made this game was, it's great that you did, fundamental tackling, but can someone try to sincerely strip the ball out of a receiver's hands when they caught, or when you're engaged in, taking them down to the ground? It's par for the course to tackle the guy after he done caught, a first down securing catch. How about create the turnover? I don't know if they're not taught to tackle that way, but man, they need to. But the 2 main bright spots was Marvin Jones and Eric Ebron. Stafford was steady. Before the game, we figured he would go 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. And out of default, they gave him an interception on record when he really did not throw an interception. It was actually a completed pass to Eric Ebron, and the Green Bay defender did exactly what I'm asking Lions defenders to do. Go for the ball. Immediately the guy was on Eric Ebron trying to take the ball out of his hands. To us, it seemed as if Ebron was down by contact. We don't know why Coach Caldwell didn't challenge that, or nothing was really said about it. Perhaps in a post-game interview, it'll get talked about. But we need more out of the coach too. In those situations where the players pretty much have done all that they can and should do, it's time for the coach to, pitch a tent on some of this stuff, because it's just crazy. You can't just be, the good guy and things balance themselves out by the end of the game. Screw that, man. You looking at your season spiraling out of control early before the first half of the season is even completed. Just like this game was pretty much over before the first half was done in the books. We need more out of Coach Caldwell. We need him to do more, be more expressive. Hell, if you're going to get fired, showing the fans that, hell, it wasn't me. It was clearly the refs. It was clearly an agenda, because just sitting there gritting and taking it, that doesn't go over too well here. So once again, Lions lose 34-27. The connection between Stafford and the receivers is encouraging. We want to see more out of Golden Tate. He only had 4 receptions for 40 yards, but he was targeted, only 6 times this game. When we get that 1-2 punch, on the outside, we hopefully put the game out of position before the refs get a chance to thoroughly affect the game, as we saw in the game against the Titans. We got to put away teams early, run away and hide, and just make it blatantly obvious that apparently there's a agenda where the Lions cannot be successful. That has to be shown on the field by the players, apparently, because, it's conspiracy talk when us fans talk about it, but you can't argue with what you see. Once again, it's Antoine Williams for LionsPassion.com. Another Lions loss.